Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Hope you're doing well. Just a quick one, please like and subscribe, whether on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or whatever it may be, because it really does help push the podcast out to a wider audience, to more people who click on those buttons, basically. And yeah, just like share it with your friends, and anything you want me to talk about, just drop me a message or comment below, and we'll do that in a couple of weeks' time. I've had quite a lot on recently with work, with personal stuff, and also with running as well. So obviously, unless you've been living in a cave for the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I'm training for Chicago Marathon, which is on the 11th of October. So we've got just under 10 weeks to go until we do that. And I'm, really excited for it. But yeah, we've just finished week 3, I think, of the training program, and in the last couple of weeks, I've done a couple of 10k races. So the first one I did was the Goole RIverbank Challenge, which started at Goole Rugby Club in Huck, and then it was, as the name suggests, like literally ran along the riverbank into Goole, turned around, and came back the other way. And then yesterday I did the York 10k. And yeah, I enjoyed like both events a lot. It was good to kind of like get back into the swing of things in terms of, like getting back into a race and what have you, because just to kind of like get back into the routine of like preparing for a race the night before, and things like that, and then just like getting myself ready on the morning. The goal one was really good, really enjoyed it. So it was basically like run by the Goole Viking Striders Running Club, and I thought it was organised like really well. It was a really well run event, and it was like a very good atmosphere as well. So I really enjoyed that one. I definitely recommend it to anyone. But yeah, in fact, I've got the medal here actually for those of you who are watching. So yeah, it's this bad boy here. So yeah, quite a good medal actually, and it's like the 200th anniversary of Goole itself, so it's quite a nice medal. Um, but yeah, I wasn't like planning on getting a PB or anything like that at the Goole Riverbank Challenge 10k, but I did think to myself, I do want to like push myself a bit harder than I normally would do in a training run, just to kind of see where I'm at fitness wise, really kind of like set myself a bit of a yardstick. And I kind of like started off like fairly steady and then just like picked up the pace a little bit. And it was quite difficult at times, like trying to overtake people, because it was, it's quite narrow. So you quite easily got held up a bit. Um, but it was a good route. A lot of it was like obviously on the riverbank, so a lot of it was grass. So I wasn't really sure whether to wear road shoes or trail shoes, but I wore road shoes. And in the end, it turns out that I missed out on a PB by 1 second, which is quite funny, really. And I wasn't I wasn't like annoyed or anything, but it definitely gave me sort of the gave me the sort of like kick up the backside, I suppose, for York, because normally I would have like took York quite steady, because York's not really a PB course; it's quite a slow course. But I thought to myself, you know what, I'm definitely capable of getting a PB in York in 2 weeks' time. So it was yesterday as I'm recording this, and yeah, I've done York 10k quite a few times. It's the first running event of any kind that I ever did, which was actually 10 years ago. But yeah, it's always like really well organized, really good atmosphere, like all around the course. And with it being York, it's like a very nice route as well, with like lots of things to look at and what have you. You start off outside the race course, and you like go down Bishy Roads, and then you go like through town and past the Minster, and then you go like back along the river and through Rountree Park, and then basically like back to the race course. So yeah, it's a really good route. A little bit like Goole in the sense that a lot of the route was quite narrow, and again, you got held up a few times like very easily, and there's like kind of too many people trying to get into one piece of tarmac in a way. So that's what I mean when I say it's like a slow course. But yeah, I kind of did York yesterday. I was determined to like not set off too fast because that's always been my main weakness. But I've definitely the last few events I've done, I've kind of set off like fairly steady and gradually built towards it. And I was quite pleased with the consistency of my run yesterday. I probably started a little bit too far back to be totally honest with you because I did like have um, yeah, quite a bit of overtaking to do. And I don't mean that in it to sound like arrogant or anything like that. It's just I should have started a bit further forwards than I did. But yeah, I was really pleased with it. And then yeah, I got towards the end and like the last 200 meters, I kind of like did a bit of like a sprint finish, so I still had a little bit more left in the tank, so I was pleased about that. And then got a couple of messages off a couple of mates afterwards, actually saying that like I looked like a man possessed basically when I was going along the finish straight again. Um, but yeah, my time was 45:05, so I got a PB. Beat my PB by like just over 45 seconds, so I was really pleased with that. And yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say disappointed, but like I missed out on a sub 45 by 5 seconds, which kind of means that I have to go and do another 10k to try and get a sub 45. But the good news is that I felt good out there. It was a hot day yesterday, and like I say, it was quite congested. And York's not renowned for being a fast 10k course, so I do think like I'm more than capable of getting a sub 45. Not that it matters, but I just like to challenge myself. And yeah, when I crossed the finish line, like I did feel like I probably could have gone a little bit faster if I really wanted to. I reckon I probably had like another 20 seconds in the tank, really. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how I did. Um, and the main thing is that like we're all good um, in terms of like training for Chicago, because ultimately that the goal is to like be ready on the start line for Chicago, both ready and injury free. Um, Yesterday's run's definitely given me a lot more confidence, but now over like the next 9 weeks or so, be definitely kind of like Sunday's like my long run day, so every Sunday I'll gradually be like adding more and more miles on each long run. And then obviously taper like the week before Chicago. But yeah, I feel like kind of physically running wise, I'm in a pretty good place. Touch wood, everything's going well so far. So yeah, yeah, I feel good, and I'm pleased with how yesterday went. And well done to everybody else who did the Yacht 10k as well. Some people did the first 10k, others came back from injury and what have you. And others got PBs too. So yeah, like well done to everyone who did it yesterday as well. Like I said, it was a really good atmosphere, and actually afterwards went into town with Max and Maddie. In fact, that's the medal, by the way, for anyone watching. So yeah, and again, like quite a good medal, to be fair. So yeah, I'll be hanging that up on the wall. But yeah, we went into Rose's Thai restaurant yesterday, and like he showed you medal, you got free pad Thai basically. So yeah, we made the most of that. Had really good Thai food and had a few beers afterwards. So yeah, it was good fun yesterday afternoon as well as the actual race in the morning. So kind of like Chicago's the 11th of October, and then 2 weeks later, I'm doing Valencia half marathon, which will be the first super half I ever did. And then after that, I've got a few more races planned, well, three to be precise. So in November, I'm doing a half marathon at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, which I'm really looking forward to. 6th of December, I will be doing a full marathon at Goodwood, which is like right at the arse end of the country, like really down south. But yeah, there's like a racetrack at Goodwood for like cars and motorbikes. So basically, like I'll be running a marathon on that at the start of December. So again, I'm excited for that one. And then today, actually, I entered another marathon. So it's on the 10th of January, and it's called A Up It's Baltic in Bridlington. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that one as well. But basically, kind of like my sort of goal in the next year. I've ran 5 marathons so far. I want to get to 10 marathons before I turn 35, which will be in September next year. So that's kind of like my goal. So yeah, I've got like Chicago, October, Goodwood, December, Bridlington in January. That will take me to 8 marathons. and then I've already entered Leeds next year on the 9th of May. And then I think the week before that, I'm probably going to enter Belfast. So that'll be my 9th one, and Leeds will be my 10th one. And then I will have like achieved that goal, and then we'll kind of decide what to do after that. But yeah, I like to kind of like plan a few races in advance so that I've always got like something to train for and something to focus for and be accountable for. Because if I haven't like set myself a goal and I haven't like you know got an event to train for example, like don't get me wrong, I'll still train, but I'm kind of like there's no real structure to what I'm doing and no real purpose to it. So yeah, I like to kind of have that um have that character chase, if you like. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like what's coming up ahead. Um, then in the previous episode, or maybe the one before that, been talking about the World Cup basically. So yeah, really glad that Spain won the final for obvious reasons, and looking forward to the Premier League starting in a couple of weeks' time. Um, I'm gonna say it kind of out loud. Like even like last season when people were saying to me they reckon Arsenal win the title, I was always a bit sort of cagey. But I think now that we won the league last season, it'll be a huge weight off the players' shoulders. And I think in a way it'll kind of like give the players more confidence and feel a lot less pressure, and um, it won't be like a very sort of draining experience, trying to sort of like have that fear of failure. That's kind of no longer there in my opinion. And I think because we've kind of got the continuity, like same manager as well, I actually think we're probably the favourites to win the league next season. But obviously, like that's just like a very early prediction. I just think like a lot of the other teams have got like new managers and a lack of continuity. Like Man U, for example, will be playing in the Champions League, whereas they didn't last year. So yeah, there's a lot of different variables across pretty much most of the teams, where a lot of them have like new managers and what have you, whereas we've got like same manager, pretty much the same group of players, barring one or two incomings and outgoings. But yeah, I do think we're in a very good position to challenge for the title and defend it. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be a very difficult season for us. They do say it's more difficult to defend your title than it is to win it in the first place. But yeah, bottom line is I'm feeling fairly confident as an Arsenal fan, and I'm just looking forward to like Premier League football and club football in general return as well. I was quite surprised actually when the Scottish Premier League started last week, and I assumed like they'd all still be in like the pre-season friendlies, but no, that's already started. So yeah, you've got it's good to see kind of football getting back to normal. Another thing, I touched on last week. No, sorry, 2 weeks ago about how I'm going to record like every 2 weeks now as opposed to every week for various reasons. But yeah, obviously, like just really busy at work in a good way. But yeah, I did have an offer accepted for a house actually just over a week ago. So I'm kind of like in the process of getting the ball rolling in terms of getting everything sorted out, basically. But yeah, exciting times. Last week was actually like really stressful. Anyone who's already a homeowner will already know this, but yeah, kind of like sorting out stuff with the house and the mortgage, as alongside work, and it kind of feels like you got two full-time jobs at the same time. It can get quite stressful, but yeah, no, I am looking forward to it. Yeah, really excited for it, and yeah, I'll basically like have a different room to this, so like I'll be able to record this like kind of like in my own space really, which will be pretty good. But yeah, all in all, looking forward to it. Now, what I'm gonna do over the next couple of months or so, I'll try and get some guests on. I want to speak to Powell again. If you go back to episode 3, I think it was, I had Powell on talking about like his Ironmans and his like his Ultra Ironmans as well, and just see what he does this year. So it'd be good to catch up with him. I want to get Julia back on. I want to get Ryan back on, and I also want to get Nick on at some point as well, purely to just take the piss out of him because he loves it and he never bites. But no, joking aside, it'd be good to get him on actually, because he's a runner and he's like just come back from injury, so it'll be good to kind of like get his sort of say on his sort of like recovery process. I think it would be good to get a few people on. So if there's any particular person you think I should get on, or if there's any particular subject you want me to talk about, then send me a message or put it in the comments below. And yeah, I will get that all sorted out for you. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode. So thank you for listening, and enjoy your summer, enjoy the heat wave. Take care.